This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Hi, this is David Patrick Wilson. I played Superman, Clark Kent, in the television production of It's a Bird, It's a Plane, enjoying every minute of being right here on the Krypton Report.
Look up in the sky, the birds, the plane.
Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast, where James Cole is always on the prowl.
I'm on the prowl.
Yeah. I don't know. You're on the prowl. We talk about Krypton. We talk about Superman. We talk about everything here. And it's funny because James and I were like, okay, it's all quiet. We're going to start. As soon as I hit record, his daughter's like, ah.
Yeah.
It just starts coming at you, and you're like, okay.
Welcome. You get that once in a while.
So, yeah. But hey, what's up, James? How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah, just all right. Life holding you down.
I'm on call this week. Been exhausted this week.
Poor James, everybody, is always on call. That's what it's like to be James Cole.
Yeah. Well, the problem being is we haven't gotten anybody to be a third in the on-call rotation for like a year and a half. So it's like every other week, and it has gone old and got over it and gone old again, and it's coming back around again.
Amen, brother. Amen. Let's get into some super news. First of all, I found this. The Pastel de Blizzard Superman cake. I will have to look into this more, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Wonder where that's from. The ad looks foreign.
It is, because all the foreign stuff is the best. And you're like, what are you talking about, Tyler? Well, I'm about to tell you guys. Let's get into some super news. First of all, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman is coming to Blu-ray.
Yes.
In August. The complete
in August,
series.
I saw you know what? It could have been the way that everybody else does the date, where that was because I saw 7/8, but it could be
maybe it is
so
July.
June or July 8th.
We'll just go July.
August 7th.
Let's just go July. Sounds better. James Gunn has said, in case you missed it, James Gunn and Peter Safran shared the release schedule of DC Studios. Is 2 live-action films per year, 1 animated film per year, 2 live-action series per year, 2 animated series for HBO Max per year. I feel like we got this before, but I want to know, okay, because everything that you've announced doesn't seem like it fits that schedule. So
No, there's only 1 movie this year.
Yeah, and we got 1 animated series.
1 live action series, 1 animated series,
1 movie. I guess that's not too bad to kick off your first year. Did
Right.
you hear the room? There's a rumor, I didn't get to put this in there, that they may move Supergirl up to May of next year because of Avengers not being there now.
Oh, nice.
So,
Well, I mean, it's already wrapped filming.
exactly, it's in post.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would if they've got enough time for it.
It would be sweet. James, are you hungry?
Always. Almost.
You want to go down to
always.
Mexico for a Superman burger?
Yeah, road trip.
Carl's Jr., also known as Hardee's, in Mexico has the Superman burger right here, and they burn the symbol into the burger.
they brand the bun.
Why do we not have this? We have Hardee's and Carl's Jr. here,
Yeah.
I
mean, not near me, but
there's one right by me, and I'll take you there when you come visit. But I'm like, come on, man.
I mean, we can go for a road trip to Mexico We might have a hard time getting country
back. We'll get in easily. Getting back's the problem.
Yeah.
And then I found this. That's supposed to be the Superman popcorn bucket there. We'll see when, AMC announces it or whatever.
Yeah, that looks like the tin bucket, but then there's that clear LED bucket.
Brian just dropped $80 on the Galactus popcorn bucket today.
Oh, of course he did. I mean, it looked really cool though.
It
just
lights
a giant
up.
Galactus head.
It's like 2 feet. Yeah, and he loves Fantastic Four.
It looked tall.
It is, from what I was seeing. So, all right, hey. But if this is like the popcorn container, that's still pretty sweet. So,
yeah, I'd get that one or the tin metal one. Either or.
Yep. So,
whichever one's available near me.
And here's some cups that I saw. Don't really know where they're from, but just merchant cups. Still waiting to see a lot of stuff released. I really get pissed off when I see people like walking into Target online, like, look what I found. And I'm like, okay, no, I went to Target there. They had nothing.
Right.
And my Walmart's barely getting anything. So I hate that. But these are sweet. I want these Superman playing cards. I actually really like this. Like how the back is the Daily Planet and then the simple art on it.
Yeah.
I love having like extra decks of playing cards. So I want to get these.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep my eyes out for those. Now.
Like cards and card games.
Yes. So look, I keep in my bag at work. I have Uno, but it's the Super Pets Uno. Just nice. So like kids will be cool with it. Like when I play with kids at work. Okay. Now we got all of our character posters, and they released them over the past 3 days in 3 different sets. But I organized these a little differently. So here we go. Are you ready, James?
Yeah.
We have Superman and Clark Kent.
Cool.
I knew they would release a Clark Kent poster by itself. We'd already seen the Superman poster of just, Superman.
We saw both these images in the kind of motion poster they released.
So I wasn't too shocked that. And I saw someone put a stupid comment like, what's that wiry thing on the suit? Is that a suit thing? No, that's the glasses in his hand. Some people are not very bright, but let's keep going. Number 4 robot and Crypto have their posters. Now, nice. Number 4 robot is voiced by Alan Tudyk, but they actually made this as a prop. Like it's a actual robot. There's some behind the scenes footage they have of the robot actually moving and everything on set. Nice. So it's a practical effect.
Hey man, they've been doing it since 1984 when Terminator came out.
Exactly. Then we got our boy Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, and Mr. Terrific. And a lot of people point out that like Mr. Terrific's in a short sleeve shirt here. So like, oh, he must not have his jacket on. But
I mean, he may not wear his jacket constantly.
Our next is Hawk Girl.
Hawk Girl and
then her mask is okay. Like it's serviceable. Let me say that. I don't love it. I don't hate it. Been a lot of discussion over like how great the mask looked for Hawkman.
They both are different though. Hawk Girls has always been more almost helmet like with the wings on it, kind of thick looking, whereas Hawkman's looked more like a thinner helmet with bigger like wings.
Mm-hmm.
Hers always had more of a sleek design, less of a realistic wing look to it.
Yeah. And then Metamorphose looks great. He's all practical effects. Then we got Lex Luthor and Eve Tessmacher.
And her poster is her taking a selfie.
Probably because no one knew that was her in the trailer. They're like, "Who's that? Cat Grant?"
Yeah, right.
Fans don't know crap, man. People are uninformed. I'm telling you.
Uninformed and like to bitch when they don't know.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. Nicholas Hoult, X-Men First Class. Eddie, can't pronounce his last name. X-Men First Class. My pick for Barry Allen, the Flash in the new DC universe, is Lucas Till from X-Men First Class.
Played Havoc.
He played Havoc. Yes. All right. Our next, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag, and we have the Engineer. Dum dum dum.
Yep.
I see some people complaining that this Frank Grillo Rick Flag is not the same from Creature Commandos, and I was like, it is. People just they addressed it that Frank Grillo couldn't dye his hair for Superman the movie because of another job he was on. He couldn't change his hair color.
Yeah, he was shooting a series or something.
Yeah,
that he was a part of
on a panel. So like, people need to chill out.
Like, yeah, it's the same version, same character, same guy.
Oh no!
You know, the engineer. The Engineer, though, I mean, just from what we saw in the trailer, I'm
in Superman. What?
Yeah, what?
Look at that!
There's got a character poster.
Yeah, they released a character poster of me for Superman. Who knew?
Nice. But in the comics, she's more metallic.
Yeah,
and I've only read a little bit of her in the Authority, but she's more metallic and more machine. So it's interesting the way that she is metallic and machine in a nanotech type of way. But this way, they don't have to make her look like Silver Surfer is going to in the same month. You know what I mean?
You don't say.
They would have looked damn near identical.
And look, we have our Lois poster that everyone's complaining about. Why wasn't there a Lois poster? I was like, look at the pattern, people. It was the superheroes, the villains, the Daily Planet.
Yeah.
We have Jimmy Olsen looking awesome. We have our Cat Grant and Steve Lombard.
Yeah.
And then rocking it here, finally some recognition. We got our Perry White.
Finally.
And then I put a note here. There was no Otis, no Ultraman, and no Hammer poster.
Well, that's good.
I kind of feel like they should have like maybe done Otis, but but it is what it is. So, but that's all the news I got. Those mainly the posters, because they were pretty much everywhere.
Well, it's they release the posters in groups and they release them over like 3 days, and every day, people are on the internet bitching about this one or that one or the ones they didn't release.
Exactly.
And it's like it's like I can't stand the fact that it's like, does anybody even do you want to even watch the movie? Like, or do you just want it told to you before it even comes out? Do you want everything right now? It's the same problem with the MCU. You know what I mean? The MCU has been the multiverse saga, inherently stories that are disconnected until they become connected. But because people didn't have the plan and the layout of where it was supposed to go and what's the connection between all of them, it's like the MCU is trash. They lost it. You know what I mean? It's like you're not even giving a chance. You want the story before they give you the story.
Yeah.
Like, get some damn patience, people.
Yeah. So, but this month we'll be talking about Superman 156, The Adventures of Superman 578, Superman Man of Steel 400, and Action Comics 765. Now, James, do you have those books handy?
I do. They are
And-
in my app.
And I don't, because my daughter took my iPad and played on it, killed the battery, and then just tossed it to the side. So when I need it, it's dead.
Well, she could have given me a heads up.
I know. So I'm a little frustrated at her right now.
Right.
Because this is not the first time she's done this to me.
No, it's common.
But so we're gonna.
I'm just waiting here. Hold on. There we go. I gotta find him in my history because somebody else has been on here as well.
That's because I download them all.
There's a lot of books in my history.
Hey,
I know, but the app is every time you click on the book, it freaking throws it in the history. It's not even there. Hold on, I have it here.
See, that's what I hate. That's why
they've got some issues with their reader, with their app overall, but like their reader, I like most of the time.
Yeah.
Except for when it won't go on like the really small bubbles, like it forces you to have to either rotate or expand the panel to read it. But I mean that's kind of minor reading it, but yeah, there's some other things like the Marvel Unlimited reader, like that one's different because it's the same controls but different. Like you don't do the same things, you don't swipe, you have to tap, but they do go. So it's just the differences, and it's sometimes you're like,
yeah.
Or when the books say that you've read them and you haven't. So, so what do we got? Superman 156.
Yep.
That's the beginning. Superman versus the Parasite. Written by Loeb and drawn by McGinnis.
I really enjoy McGinnis's art.
I like McGinnis's art too. It's very cartoonish, but also like action cartoon.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Well, he drew like Emperor Joker. He drew Public Enemies.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to when we get to those.
So yeah, the issue starts where Superman is stopping a bank robbery, and sometimes he doesn't need necessarily like he's doing. This is kind of a smaller situation for him, as he describes. We get kind of a Action Comics #1 little bit here, drawn by Ed McGuinness. So see right there, little bit of a homage to Action #1.
I feel like it's like a rite of passage that every artist has to draw their homage to Action 1.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's iconic, and we're all Superman fans.
Exactly.
I mean, I've got it right there.
Yeah, I got it. You can't see because it's dark.
That's #1.
Yeah, I got the poster in the back that got half tore up by a crazy dog.
So we kind of jump in with Clark and Perry at the planet, and Perry's asking him, ultimately asking him about the rough spot that him and Lois are in, that they've been in for quite a few issues.
Yeah, they have.
So we've been talking about them being at odds for months now.
Yeah, I feel like this section here today is like the worst.
I mean, it kind of seems like it's coming to a head, and this one, yeah, when it comes right up. So Clark leaves Perry's off, and he heads back. He sees somebody at Lois's desk, and it's Lana. Lana's come to visit. Last time they had seen each other was after the accident in Smallville when her and Pete drove off into the water.
Mm-hmm.
Clark has his cough. He still has his cough, right?
Yeah.
He had it before this.
Yeah, which is very interesting.
Yeah, he has it every issue. He's had it every issue. But Lois shows up. She's they're at her desk, and she says, "It's my desk, my work, my story, and my husband, at least for now." Coldly, Lana says, "It was nice seeing you too."
Yeah, it's very cold.
Yeah. And then Jimmy falling off the building, falling off of the Daily Planet. Superman catches him, and he tells him that it was a trap, that he knew Superman would be there, and Parasite basically threw Jimmy off the building to attract Superman. While Parasite attacks Superman, of course, we know Parasite absorbing his powers. You know, Superman's using everything against him, keeping his distance, his freeze breath, his heat vision, and Wonder Woman shows up, getting him with his lasso.
Yeah, which was interesting.
And somebody telling Parasite, "I warned you about his friends." And he says, "Get out of my head, Doc. Have to get this lasso off before she finds out the truth."
So it's all about that time that Wonder Woman and him spent, like that Valhalla craziness.
Yeah. So Parasite escapes. He escapes into the sewers. Superman is talking to Wonder Woman. "I guess I owe you one." She says, "For a change. Jean contacted me, said you wanted to see me." Superman says, "I need your help with Lois. I think it's time we told her what happened in Valhalla," as he's coughing. She says, "I don't think so." And this coughing started before he arrived. So this is kind of, everybody's been asking him if there's been a problem. But now at this point, everybody's like going to be moving forward. Like, you got to get it figured out. Lois shows up. She finds Superman. She says, "Looks like I didn't get my invitation to the Superman fan club meeting. Came down here because I heard you had been hurt, but it seems to me you've got everything under control. Have any other girlfriends dropping by today?" He says, "Lois, you're blowing this way out of proportion. Let me fly you to some place where we can have some privacy." She says, "Don't touch me. If you'll just listen to what Diana and I have to say." "I have absolutely no interest in anything you and Diana have to say. We had a good thing, Smallville, and you blew it." Like, Lois is like freaking the hell out.
She's like vindictive as crap.
Yeah, like nothing happened. She doesn't even know that anything has happened or anything. But yeah, she is like super insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And this is quite some time in years, anyways, of publication after they've gotten married. Because this is post 2000. And Superman flies off, and we cut to Lex Luthor. Says, "I can't imagine what you hope to accomplish by coming here at this hour of the night." And somebody putting on lipstick, "Oh, I think you have some idea." If this is some sort of ploy to get me to release you from your obligation to me, it's almost laughable. Is it? How did you get past security? Wasn't it you who once told me if you want something bad enough? And Lois is there. Lois is flirting pretty heavily with Lex in this moment.
Yeah, she is.
Pulling on his tie. She's got lipstick on, wearing a short skirt.
It's weird.
Yeah. Not quite sure where that's going. That doesn't really get picked up in the next issue, which is the adventures of Superman and with Lois Lane.
All right.
Yeah. Written by J.M. DeMatteis and Jose Marzan Jr. and Bill Oakley, all on art. We open up on somebody kind of writhing in pain in what seems to be lava. Magma. Superman is talking with Supergirl, Superboy, and Steel. So Superman, he enlists the help of them, Superman, Superboy, or Supergirl, Superboy, and Steel, to watch Metropolis as him and Lois are actually going to leave the planet. They're going to go someplace supposed to be unnice, unspoiled, nobody else, just the two of them. A big gesture of his to try and get close to Lois.
Yeah, it is. Hey, I'm gonna take you off planet. That's smooth.
Yeah. Lex is basically blackmailing and holding Metropolis's politicians in check, owning basically him being, the king of Metropolis after Brainiac left all that technology for him. And his hope and mercy hit the giant ass table and crack it all the way down. So
Hope. What's funny is Hope is often forgot. Like Mercy stayed around, but Hope did not.
No. But yeah, he's being blunt here that, he owns Metropolis, he owns them, and one way or another they're leaving, whether it's the elevator or out a window, basically. So they apologize, and Superman and Lois are on the planet, and they see these like divine kind of beings that live here. They're kind of like energy beings almost. At least they seem something like that.
They're really interesting.
They're not supposed to be violent or anything. But Superman and Lois, they get into a fight, She says, I told you before, I want to be left alone. She says, I don't understand. What have I done? Has it been so terrible being married to me? He says, blast it, Lois. What is the matter with you? And she says, just stay back, almost fearful. He says, my God, you don't think I don't know what to think. Like, this just seems a little like this is out of character for Lois for the most part, being afraid of Superman or not trusting him. She's the one who always believes in his goodness, even when it's to his detriment. So this part of the this part of the story, this part of the argument that they have
it's riveting.
was a little, yeah. And then the creature we see from the very beginning shows up, and appears at Lois. If she says, if I hadn't run, it would have killed me. And he says, keep away from my wife. He rescues Lois and goes back to fighting the creature. And then all the alien beings show up and they kind of touch him, and he says that, he gets it now. And the creature kind of burned out because it was kind of basically born too early, as it were. But then it lights up, and Lois says, Clark, is it the same creature that? He says, yes, and it's communicating with you. He says, the Zatori says that when I touched it, the love in my heart, the love I feel for you, Lois, was enough to ignite the fading spark of life and allow it to complete its rebirthing process. She says, and is it saying anything else? And wait, don't go. And he laughs. She says, what's the joke? Don't you see? It's as if this encounter was fated to be. That poor being struggled, suffered just as we've been suffering. But in the end, our love was enough too. And she says, love conquers all. It's a nice fairy tale, Clark, but life's not that simple. I wish it was. Just take me home. And he says, whatever you want. That's the end of the issue.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Superman, the Man of Steel 100. This is an issue where we get Superman working with Steel. This is the story with what did they call them? They got a name here. Foot Soldiers of Chaos. Bear with me. It's been a little while with us pushing them. It's been a little while since I read these issues, so I'm blanking on a couple little parts.
We read these and we're supposed to record, but then life happened and we push back. So
yeah, and with with recording everything ahead, we've kind of just been pushing through some things, and so I read this and was waiting, and then life has happened to us both. Cyber moths, it seems. The cybernetic underground and Luna, queen of the cybernetic underground. These are the people who have been trying to hack into the new Brainiac technology in the underground. Steel had come across them before. They had interactions. They were having the interaction with them when they set off that black hole, or that miniature sun or whatever it was, underneath the city that Steel and Superman took care of. There is a lot of super science mumbo jumbo in this issue. But I like that Nat rewires, not rewires, she says, making a minor adjustment to his response alterations. So when Kellex talks now, he sounds how Nat wants him to talk.
Which is smart.
Yeah. Well, John Henry says the quantum radical governor will need adjustments, Kellex. He says, will do. The Giffler wrench, Big Blue, shake a leg. Super and Steel, they build their device to keep a tesseract in. They build a containment sphere. One of the cyber moths is kind of hiding in their location, and is connected, and Luna she's going to be connected to everything. The cyber moth is kind of like shriveling and integrating into the electrical system. And what part of what Superman and Steel are trying to do is repair the fortress.
So the fortress needs repaired. You don't say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Superman ends up getting into a fight with the cyber moths, with Luna, and Superman ends up getting attacked. You're too late, Superman. Too late to stop me from returning. Too late to close the door on my vengeance. Look at me, Superman. Look at what you've done to me. Cyborg Superman.
He just keeps popping up.
Yep. When was the last time he was in the Phantom Zone? Wasn't he?
I think so.
When we
last saw him.
Yeah. Or am I thinking of a modern book?
I think you're thinking of both.
Yeah, not the first time he would be in the Phantom Zone.
Nope. That becomes a really nice, getaway.
Yeah. So Natasha has a date that stops by because the cyber moths and everybody have kind of captured Steel and chained him up. He was waiting for a distraction, and when Natasha's date stops by, everybody focuses on him, and that gives Steel the moment he needs to break out of his chains and start to attack. And we've got a nice two-panel page of Steel fighting the cyber moths and Superman fighting cyborg Superman.
Superman's awesome, but yeah.
Most of it's they're fighting Superman and cyborg Superman. And then as Superman is down, cyborg Superman begins to get attacked, and Superman is rescued by miniature people from Kandor,
which was
jetpacks flying around,
which was really weird.
Yeah. Let's see here. It was we knew Kandor must have escaped the destruction. Says, but what are you doing here? That's a fair question. Seconds before the kryptonite warhead struck your fortress, Kandorian reality flux sensors alerted us to the impending disaster. Our scientists were able to cut the tenuous cords that bond us to your plane of reality just in time. Kandor escaped destruction, but was cast adrift in the Phantom Zone.
That seems like a lot.
And the Kandorians take cyborg Superman, which they've kind of got like frozen with some sort of, I don't know, 0 point energy. And they are taking him to the Phantom Zone. And Luna was running away from Superman, and she neared the Phantom Zone portal, the Phantom Zone projector, and she falls in, she gets pulled in. And this part here, I was like, that doesn't quite seem like the best way to go about it, in my opinion. It says, Kellic says, no, Big Blue, it's too late. You can't just fly and navigate the Phantom Zone. It's not like our reality. Just close the portal before its transition field disrupts anything else. If the girl can be rescued, it will happen at another time. Superman says, another time then, but I will bring her back. and he is still coughing.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I don't know that even a villain, but an Earth villain, it's an alien prison. It's designed for the worst of the worst. I don't know that he would be leaving her to fend for herself in an alien dimension, you know. That one got me a little bit. I was like, that doesn't quite seem the most Superman thing, in my opinion. Superman flies back through the Tesseract and comes back to kind of rescue Steel, who's being overrun by the Cybermoths. Excuse me.
Oh, you're good. I feel you.
But they get the fortress back up and going. They at least a form of a fortress. I don't know if it's exactly his fortress, because they go inside the Tesseract, the containment sphere, and they go inside what is like a newly being constructed fortress or something. But this here is where Superman gives Steel a cape, one of Superman's capes that has Superman's shield in yellow imprinted on the back,
which Steel needs. I hated they waited so long to give him the cape on Superman and Lois.
Right?
Like, he should have got that like in season 4 for sure. He should have had that, or season 3. Like,
yeah. And we've got Superman and Steel flying off, both with Superman capes waving in the wind.
All right. Take us home, James.
And our final issue was Action Comics 765. The Joker and Harley Quinn take Metropolis. Richard Starkings and there we go. Joe Kelly, writer. Kano, pencils. And Marlo Alquiza on the inks.
Yeah.
Got a couple of ladies walking their dogs, talking about stuff, and we got Joker in a bald cap, and Harley Quinn in her chauffeur's outfit, and a bunch of hyenas.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Harley takes a picture and fries the women's hair off. They're all bald. Superman is shaving in the dark using his heat vision off of a mirror, off of a piece of something to burn and shave his. What's that?
I said, as one does when they shave.
No, absolutely.
You don't shave using your heat vision on a piece of glass?
No, I've got Kryptonian metal razors. They work.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. You get that more manly.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. It makes me feel old-fashioned. Makes me feel more human.
Gotta get into that.
And we get Lois just kind of being a pain in the ass at the beginning of this. Do you have any idea how disgusting it is waking up every morning to the smell of burning hair? No, I never thought. She says, of course you didn't. God forbid you should take the little Earth girl you married into consideration. Says Lois, no, get out of here, Clark. I gotta go and spray something, would you? Place stinks.
So Lois is up to something's wrong with Lois. Something's up with Lois. Something's up with Lois.
Right. We cut to Lex Luthor, and the Lex Tower appears to be 10 times bigger than any building in Metropolis. like incredibly huge. He is in a meeting, and the a couple of people show up. My head is so big and it outgrew my hair. I'm Lex Luthor. Hear me bore.
Yeah.
Montreal, Canada. We've got Clark sleeping on the job as a reporter, and he hears zeet 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 zeet, probably the Superman signal watch.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, actually, it is the signal watch. Anyways, it is the signal watch. It's right on the next panel. And we've got Harley snapping photos of everybody. The very old-timey looking camera, making a bunch of people bald and crazy. They're being chased around by hyenas. Lex Luthor comes out, why? And says, Joker says, maybe I had one too many Harley's caffeine sugar MSG parfaits, or maybe you should have kept your damn hands out of Gotham. Quid pro quo, bippy hu casa mi casa. Lex says, it's a free world, maniac. Guards, my life has been threatened, deadly force authorized. And we've got Harley Quinn versus Mercy, both in chauffeur outfits.
This is when you just pull up the popcorn.
Right? Superman, I'm not asking, kind of telling everybody to stop. And Superman is looking worse for the wear. He's got 5 o'clock shadow. He looks very tired. He's got his cough going on. And he gets attacked by a few hyenas. And we got stage 1, Mercy versus Harley, round 1. And a whole page of the two of them fighting. And we move to where Superman is being attacked. He kind of uses his heat vision to scare off the hyenas. Jimmy says, "You heard my signal watch." Lois is hiding behind the bushes and does not want to see or interact with Superman. Lex Luthor pulls what looks to be a flamethrower on the Joker, and it gets snatched out of his hands at super speed. Yeah. And the Joker gets snatched up at super speed. And then a plane flies in and drops in a large baby. It says, supposed to be baby Lena. It says, why did you let me die, Daddy? Why did I die, Daddy? I'm dead, but I love you, Daddy.
So weird.
Yeah, Joker. Oh no, I'm just a man like any other, trying to bring an infanticist, and the robotic. I'm actually not sure what that word means. It's infant and assist. I am not sure.
Makes sense.
And the robotic embodiment of his deceased child together. Yes, we should move now, as rubble is falling off of LexCorp Tower. Joker says that asks Lex if he has a zinc lozenge for Superman because he is still coughing.
Makes you wonder.
And then Joker says that he has a diplomatic immunity. And we've got stage 2, Mercy versus Harley, round 2. And they are fighting. And she says, see what's got my garters in a twist is that we henchwomen ought to get more rights. We don't get a vote on assassination plots. We get paid less for the same amount of kidnapping and the harassment. Can a woman wear a skin-tight bodysuit without being objectified? Mercy yelling at her, shut up, shut up. And she says, case in point, She says, "Pardon me, fellas, but do you feel you're witnessing a daring battle between good and evil with the fate of the world in the balance, or are you sticking it out, hoping the Amazon pops a strap?" And a guy holds out a Green Lantern ring and says, "Would you be my girlfriend?"
I mean, he obviously is a follower of Guy Gardner, so
Yeah, clearly. Superman gets in between cops firing guns and a camel with a flamethrower. It's a puppet camel with a flamethrower.
interesting.
He grabs Joker's hand, and Joker has a fake hand, and it crushes and crumbles away, which is very funny. The giant Lena robot is climbing the tower like Godzilla, and smacks Superman away. Oh, hold on.
Funny.
I'm having a page that blanked.
Oh no.
I read it before, but now I've got pages that are blanking. And it's a downloaded issue. I didn't have this problem before. Anyways, we find out that Joker is in Metropolis with a political group of people. Can't remember where it was. He said they were from. Might be on one of the pages that is going blank on me. But that's why he says that he has diplomatic immunity. And it's, if you're wanting to find out, it says the diplomatic immunity beginning in Birds of Prey number 16. So right around this time of 2000.
All right.
And then the rest of my book is blank. So I'm sorry.
Diplomatic immunity for the Joker is a scary concept.
Right. I was just talking about how the reader was doing really good, and now I've got like 3 or 4 pages that are just totally blank, just gray picture.
I mean, that's how it is, isn't it?
Right.
So what else did we get into? Oh yeah, it's that time of the month. Not that time of the month, but this time of the month to talk about Superboy. Superboy. We got a couple interesting episodes to go over today. But before we get into those, let me ask you a question. Should Superman 2 have been titled Superman the Movie 2? Because the first one is not Superman, and then Superman 2 is Superman the Movie. But all right. Our first episode in season 3 is The Sons of Icarus. Capital City finds itself in the middle of a mystery as random fires keep appearing all over the city. When Superboy investigates, he discovers a connection to an ancient tribe of flying warriors called the Katia. Or Katia. And if you would have made a drinking game out of how many times they say Katia in this, you would be dead.
Right.
So, this was an interesting episode about an African tribe that still resided close by. And the main premise is they need a new member. So they go to the bureau and they find out the one guy who works there, whose name is evading me right now because it's late and I have a headache, is a descendant of that tribe. And they bring him in and he quits the bureau and everything because he's like, I got to be a part of thinking, something's real. And he goes off to partake in the and he says Katia a lot. And then they're supposed to they fly. That's the thing. It's like they're based off of they were the flying men, but they don't fly like They look like they just float uncontrollably.
Yeah,
They have no control.
And then they flame on for some reason. And what was that, like sacrifices or something? Like some people were supposed to be sacrificed so that like the others could.
Yeah, it's like it trades. Like if you're gonna call in the power of flight, like you summon Katia also, so that there's like a separate entity that appears, the fire monster, while you're floating. So
Right.
but the best part about this was the film debut of a certain actor.
Yeah, a cameo of a young, maybe first time actor. Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady.
Yep.
Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady from Whose Line and Barney's brother James and How I Met Your Mother. Among many, 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 many other things, but those are the primary things I've seen him in most. I don't think he has any lines except for chanting. But I saw him, I was like, oh hell. I said, look at that. Wayne Brady on Superboy.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. But crap. Matt was the character name I was thinking of. I was drawing a blank on. I was like,
okay.
He was the one they went and recruited. But yeah, and don't forget Wayne Brady was in Black Lightning too. His second DC appearance.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if that was the final season.
He played Gravedigger.
I think that was the final season. I don't think I saw him on there.
Yeah, I watched it all. I couldn't tell you what, because it's been so long.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for me, just because I ended up falling off of most of the CW stuff after Crisis.
Oh, he was also a voice on Batman Beyond of Micron in 2 episodes.
Ooh, excellent. So he's a DC legacy cast now.
Season 3, season 3, episodes 7 and 8. Gosh, I like that show. But yeah, Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady Show. The Wayne Brady Show.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it real. The next episode, Carnival. When Superboy discovers a mysterious carnival that is stealing the souls of its patrons, his moral and physical courage is put to the test. I like this one. It was pretty neat, like just the creepy carnival, and it's basically like almost like Superboy up against the devil, and even like he transforms the carny into basically like the devil, and was trying to tempt him to pride and everything, and Superboy passed the test.
Yeah, it was like tempting him with this, almost with the deadly sins in a way. Wrath, pride, at the very least. I think even a little lust at one point with Lana there.
Of course, with Lana there.
So,
and then he just disappears at the end, and the whole carnival disappears. But it opens up with a guy. He drops his fake wallet full of money, and a dad takes the money, and then for greed, and that was enough for him to lose his soul.
Yep.
Maybe he was just poor and he just needed the money to feed his family, and he felt bad for it. But I like that one. The next one, number 9,
that's a pretty good episode.
Test of Time. 2 aliens from a mysterious planet accelerate the time on Earth. This one was interesting. This one, I gotta say, was pretty interesting. Just with the whole time shifting and everything. And it was like everyone's frozen but Superboy, but then he realizes they're not frozen, just he's sped up.
Mm-hmm. How did he fix that? Wasn't it? Didn't he stop the aliens?
Yes, because they were trying to figure out why he wasn't affected. But it got a 7.2 on IMDb.
Yeah, that one was interesting. He got in the way of that static cloud, and yeah, sped him up at super speed. Which the aliens that he fought, they said that the one was saying that they couldn't maintain that acceleration for much longer.
Nope. He just had to take it a little bit longer because he's Superboy. And then the last episode we watched was Mindscape, which is season 3, episode 10. Superboy's life is in peril when an alien creature attaches itself to his body, causing him horrific nightmares in which he battles his alter ego Clark Kent. Not exactly, but I like this one because it was kind of like Superboy's version of the Black Mercy.
Yeah.
Now,
it was in a way of a Black Mercy, except for being like everything you want, being like a paradise, it's nightmares.
We had a fan write us an email and kind of point out to us that like back when we did the episode, we kept talking about why didn't they just use Maxima?
Yeah.
The thought was they could only use characters that appeared in Superboy comics, and Maxima never appeared in a Superboy comic. So that's why we're getting these villains that are kind of sideways related, similar. Kind of like this. Like I said, it's like Superboy's kind of version of the Black Mercy, but a little bit different. But this
right. Well, I don't think I've ever read any actual Superboy comics.
Oh, we will in 2027. That's on the slate for 2027.
Nice.
We're going to do a deep dive in Superboy, pending that, there's not any great, DC Studios project coming out that changes that plan. Little future there. I bet you can't guess what next year's talks are going to be about.
Oh, I wonder.
I wonder
Another
too.
fellow Kryptonian, possibly.
No, you don't say. But I liked it because, like, at one point, like his shirt gets ripped and everyone sees that Clark Kent is Superboy, and they're like ridiculing him, and he's like, "No, it's still me. What's going on, guys?"
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Yeah. It was funny to see Superboy being taken out by a giant booger.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. That thing looked like a big loogie. That is it.
Yep, that's enough for me to be like, bleh. I just got an updated post from James Gunn here. Says our last visual effect shot has been finished and dropped into Superman. We are now 100% done. Thanks to all my collaborators. It has been a joy. And for the rest of you, can't wait for you to see the movie July 11th.
Ah, that's fantastic. Just over a month away from the release at the time of this recording, and
also
it's 100%.
We also didn't mention that Ron Troop didn't get a poster either. That was the other one that I was mentioning that should have gotten a poster. But yeah, that's all we had for right now. And Tyler is extremely tired and was actually at the doctor's today because I'm having some issues. And I'm just really, really sleepy.
I did
it's something going on with me.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's the weather. The temperature is going up and down. I've been pretty exhausted lately. But I did read Absolute Superman. Not that we're getting into it with anything, but just, for everybody listening, if you haven't been reading and or hopefully you've been reading along with it and listening to what we think about it, but the latest issue that came out on the app was actually really, really cool and dark, and yeah, it was like a Superman horror comic, like for real.
Yeah, it was weird,
but it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
It's right up my alley too.
We are saving our absolute discussions, everybody, for like clusters of when we get like each arc. So it'll probably be like another 2 months before we go back to reviewing Absolute Superman, just because we're doing, looks like they're doing like five episode or 5-issue arcs. So it'll be fun. But from here, from Tyler and James, we just want to say thank you for joining us. And remember,